There are so many lies in Canada that are all perpetuated to try to make you a consumer and to put you immersed more into the system. For example, the psyop that you have to have a home. It's not a house or a building. It's a home. It's the biggest investment of your life. Well, is it the biggest investment of your life? Well, yeah, you could double your money. Yeah, they devalue the dollar by half. So no wonder my home has gone up twice in value. You know, if you inflation adjusted the average home price in Toronto in 1970 to today, it's gone up $0, adjusted for inflation. That is how much the dollar has been devalued. But people look at it as, oh, I bought my house for 6 blueberries. It's now worth $6 million. No, they just printed your value out of existence. That is why. They want you to become a consumer. Because if they sell you on a home and an asset, they just, what was 30 million people, now they say it's 40 million. I'm guessing closer to 50 or 60 million people. They have now turned potentially 60 million consumers and home buyers in the future as guaranteed points of sale for the government, for taxes, and for the mortgage industry, and also the real estate industry as well, for the real estate agents. It is not an asset if it doesn't produce cash flows, right? If you don't own an asset, you cannot own an asset if it does not produce cash flows in some way, shape, or form. So owning a house where it appreciates, it's my retirement fund. Well, dog, the house is not putting food on the table, right? The house is not going to literally give you a roast chicken dinner tonight with mashed potatoes, gravy, and a nice side of roasted root veg, carrot and parsnip. Not going to happen. You got to liquidate the goddamn thing. But how long does it take to liquidate it? You couldn't flip a home like that in 24 hours. It takes weeks, sometimes even months, especially with the market tanking the way that it's been. So the only way your home could be an asset is if you had a tenant or tenants paying rent that are supplementing your income. So you're not just paying the mortgage every month, plus the repairs, plus the property tax, et cetera, et cetera. What? Trav, my wife said that she doesn't want to have a tenant because we don't want to have a roommate. Well, dog, you guys don't bang. You are already a roommate in your own home. What's another roommate going to hurt? At least you get some cash flows out of it. I know she'll end up taking half in a couple of years. Grow a pair. You know what's interesting? A lot of the traditional conservative feminist men and the conservative feminists will say, I love my wife, right? I like to make fun of on the show. I love my wife. I got to talk to my wife, right? When Matt Jenner crossed the floor, first thing he said was, I talked to my wife. Honey, can I work for Mark Carney? Sure. Just put your balls back in my purse when you're done, right? Got to talk to my wife. I love my wife. I would never talk to her that way. You know what? You know what would really show your wife how much you love her? If you had optionality as a man and you still picked her. I love my wife. I would never do anything to be disloyal to her. I would never cheat on my wife. You couldn't cheat on your wife if you tried. You have no options. She is the only option that you have. And she's not even an option at that point. If you have optionality and then you were to say, okay, I am still picking my wife. Okay, you are correct. You are correct. You do love your wife. That is the true sign. And it would also help with her maybe not help with her ego, but help validating her, knowing that you do have options and you still pick her because she is the woman for you. I would argue a lot more women would enjoy that. Right? No woman wants to be with a man that nobody else wants. Right? It's like, for example, in 2021, when they were like literally fire sailing houses with no pre-inspection, nothing, sight unseen, with just throwing offers, the market was so hot, everybody had so many options, you had no choice but to submit an offer sight unseen and hope you got it. But the times have changed. The market is collapsing. The optionality has changed. Now, I can submit whatever offer I want, and if I don't like it, I'm just going to leave. For example, I almost bought a home here in Vancouver about a year and a half ago. It was a studio and a half, a generous, very generous one-bedroom apartment by the new SkyTrain station down Broadway, the new SkyTrain extension. And the gentleman wanted $533. I told him I'll give you $530. I'm not giving you a dime more. And he wanted to have a pissing contest with me and tell me, nope, $533 or I walk. Well, guess what? You can keep riding that price down with the tanking market because I didn't buy and I made much smarter financial investments since then. So enjoy your ride all the way down, sir.